Okay, hold on. Okay.
I've been saving up all my good material for this moment. There have been no laughs all week. I've been saving it.
Okay, we're back. Okay, you can see on Facebook we're back.
I did nothing.
Okay.
I did nothing but answer my phone.
I'm so sorry we wasted all that time, but it's okay. We can start from the beginning.
Start from the beginning. Let's do it.
Allison Leo and Chris Quiban.
Sorry.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, let's see if people are gonna come back. I'm back. Yes, we're back. Please. So let's take some time so then we can have people come back in and watch us. So Allison, you are now in Redondo Beach.
Yes.
And Chris Q, you are in
Las Vegas.
How is it in Vegas right now?
It's peaceful. We're just having house projects and everything. So it's good. We're reorganizing, refunctioning, everything. So
how is the Vegas Strip?
Dead. Which is nice because every time we go on the Vegas Strip, my husband and I were like pissed off. Like, so now, we actually drove by the strip like 2 weeks ago, and it was just like a nice stroll. It was nice.
Are the lights still on?
Some lights are on. There's some dead parts. So
okay.
Yeah.
Because if there's nobody, there's no reason for them to turn on the lights.
Exactly. I agree. But some lights are on, some lights are off.
Well, I have to say, earlier when I introduced to the people that I'm going to have this chat today with the two Hollywood dancers and Paris by Night dancers, the most handsome and the most beautiful.
Thank God I got a ring light a couple weeks ago, right before this all started.
No, I'm just saying that, just, because it's not the most, because I cannot say that, because then the other dancer will yell at me.
Yes.
But very handsome Chris Q and very beautiful Allison Leo.
Thank you, Allison. Stunning.
You guys.
First, can you tell people your ethnicity?
Me?
Yes.
I'm half Chinese on my dad's side, and I am Caucasian on my mom's side.
Okay. So you are Hapa.
What type of Caucasian?
Huh? What type?
What type of
Welsh. Scottish and Welsh. Yes.
And
Chris.
I'm pure Filipino.
Filipino! Yes.
Half Tagalog and half Ilocano. So there's so many different parts of like the Philippines and so many different dialects. So I'm half Tagalog and half Ilocano. So that's why the dark skin.
Whatever it is, whatever mix it is, it's good.
It works, honey. Working.
Lay is watching you guys. You remember Lay, the makeup artist?
Yes. I love Lay. He's so funny.
When did you guys start Paris by Night? Do you remember? What number? Just remember the number.
Oh, jeez.
I don't remember the number, but it would be before. It would be in the 1990s decade.
And it was in Europe, or is it in the US?
I can't remember my first one, if it was here in the States or if it was in Paris, but I definitely remember going to Paris many times in the early days, and that was so fun.
Yeah.
When the currency was francs, right? Francs.
Yes.
Or francs.
Francs.
Chris, when did you do you remember when did you start?
1847. No, I don't know if it was like 1999 or 2000, and I think the number of the video was like in the 50s or 60s. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
you started like after Steve Bermundo?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And the first Paris by Night with Steve Bermundo, we actually clicked, and that's where Teriyaki where the Aki sisters was conceived. He's teriyaki, and I'm sukiyaki. Yes. That's where it all started. Yeah, we clicked. I love Steve. He's such a great friend, just genuine and everything. So, and that's what Paris by Night, that Paris by Night gives us. It's great friendships.
My past conversation with the other dancer is that somehow they were introduced to from someone who danced at Paris by Night before, introduced them, or they went on an audition. Did you guys audition to be on Paris by Night, or somebody brought you in or refer you to PPN?
I did not audition. I was introduced to Paris by Night, I think, by Diane Mizota.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And
Diane and Addie.
Yeah. And it was a different choreographer back then.
Mm-hmm.
His name was G. T.O.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love G.
Yeah. Or wait, was it G? It was G. Yeah. It was G. And then, it was kind of more of like it was just smaller, you know? So it was more like grassrootsy than it was like an audition call at that point. And I think Marie was just starting to kind of reach out and expand like her search in the talent world to like commercial dancers in Los Angeles. So it was kind of more of like a
referrals.
Yeah. It was like a secret society. You had to know somebody. You had to know the password to get in.
Okay. And Chris?
I actually auditioned.
Okay.
One of my best friends, Mandy Takeda.
Okay.
She said, "Oh, you should audition for Paris by Night." And so my agent actually called me, Dorothy Dayotis, DDO, back in the day, and they told me to audition for this gig, and I did. And I didn't know what I was in for, so I don't even remember the audition.
And that's you were with Shonda at that time. Audition for Shonda.
My first one was at Long Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think, but at that time, well, you two are kind of like not like a little different. The timing is a little different, and back to what Allison was saying, I think at that time, dancing was not they didn't have that much exposure, kind of like now, they didn't have like dance competition, they didn't have dance shows on TV.
They had no social media.
Yeah. It was more like a secret world, and but then Allison, you were at that time already with Wicked, or you were dancing?
No. Yeah, no, I was just really starting out. Paris by Night was one of my very first jobs that I ever got.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Really, has been very good to me. Very grateful.
And then how long after that you were part of Wicked?
Oh, Wicked came like much later. Well, 2006, so it could have been like 10 years later, 8 years later. I don't know. I did another tour of a theatrical show, a musical before that called Aida.
Oh, okay.
That was like in 2001. I did that for like almost 3 years, starting in 2001, and then I came back. So like that's what's also been really like, the PBN family. It's like you go do your stuff, you come back, and then you're like, oh, fam's back. Like, it's just nice to be welcomed again into like a really familiar, fun environment. Yeah.
But so Allison, you were more into like the musical theater. You went on that from Aida to Wicked, and then Chris Q. I know you. I met you at PPN, and then you've been on these shows with Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne Brady.
Yes.
He's one of my best friends as well.
Yes.
So I've known Wayne since Hawaii.
Okay.
I met Wayne in Hawaii. Yeah. I met Wayne in Hawaii. He was doing a show in Hawaii. There's producer choreographer. Her name was Anita Mann. So yeah, she was producing like a variety show. I forget what it was, but Wayne Brady was doing that show, and my best friend Mandy Takeda was doing that show. as well, and I used to hang out with them. So that's how I know Wayne. Was before he was even doing all this television stuff. So yeah, and then when I moved to LA, you know, that's when Wayne was actually he was moving up in the business, and people started noticing his talent. And then he asked me to be part of his projects, and I was just like, he asked me to choreograph, and I've never ever choreographed before. I did not want to choreograph. Taking leadership was scary for me. And so, yeah, it was. I said, oh, you know, my friend Stevie Ray Anthony, he'll choreograph for you. So Stevie Ray Anthony choreographed the pilot. And so, but I ended up choreographing the regular season it was like 13 episodes. And, you know me, I just wanted to dance. I was so green to LA. I did not, you know, I didn't, you know, I'm a Pisces. I go with the flow of things, you know. I never really, you know, pursued a career or anything. I just did what I knew, what felt good and what I loved. Okay,
that's a very good subject that we're gonna touch on that. But where are you both originally from? Because I know you're not from LA originally.
No, I'm from Northern California. So I was born in the Bay Area. My parents are both from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Hence the what is that bakery we like in the Bay Area in San Francisco?
Oh my God, the one with the
Queen Amman.
Yes, the Kunamans. Oh my God, they're so good. I can't. It'll come to me. I'll scream it out at some point inappropriately.
Beef patisserie.
Yes.
Beef patisserie. Yes.
And Chris, where are you from originally? Hawaii.
Honolulu, Hawaii.
Honolulu. So do you know Yuri back then?
Actually, like Yuri's like way. She's way.
Was she like this big? Was she just a little dumpling?
Right. Yeah, she was a little bulgogi. A little Calbee.
The reason I asked is she's watching right now, so that's why.
Tired.
She say, "Dad, 808."
Generation or two below me. I think she's a generation or two below me. So he's like the younger generation. I'm like the old generation.
Yeah, Yuri said, Yuri say, "Dad, 808."
808. Yeah, 808. Yeah.
Okay, so then, Chris, beside Wayne Brady, who have you worked with?
Oh my God.
Because you've been around.
My first tour was with this artist named Mandy Moore. She was like 15 at the time.
Mandy Moore, like Mandy Moore on This Is Us now?
Yeah.
Yes, she's huge.
You know what? I did Janet Jackson. I was assistant choreographer for Janet Jackson on the Super Bowl. One of my best friends, Gil, he was the choreographer director. I've done so many jobs. I don't even keep track. You know.
And how did you end up in Vegas?
Wayne Brady actually.
Oh yes, okay.
Wayne had me choreograph one of his shows in Vegas back in 2007, and I just decided I wanted to move to Vegas and stay here. So I bought a house here, and it was during the I guess that the economy wasn't that good, so there was a lot of foreclosures in houses. So I actually got a house that I really wanted for cheap. I got a foreclosed house, and it was ready. It was move-in ready. It was move-in ready. Yeah.
And you were there because Wayne.
No, Wayne had closed his show, and I had decided to stay. I didn't want to move back to LA. Yeah.
But are you now dancing in Vegas?
No, I've been actually setting shows for cruise ships and choreographing. Sometimes I dance, sometimes I don't. I'm at that point where I kind of want to retire from the business and
do something else.
Dance and do something else. I honestly probably direct or whatever, write shows or whatever. But dancing, I just want to dance for fun now. Like I wake up and I dance, have my own dance party by myself, you know. But I honestly don't want to do choreography and do. I just want to dance for myself now. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And Allison?
Yes.
So you were doing Wicked for how many years, and then have you done any have you worked with other artists or on tour or went on tour?
The tours that I've done. Well, okay, let me start from the beginning of your question. That's a lot of questions. That was a compound question barrel. So Wicked, I did on and off from 2006 until
now.
Actually, this last summer.
Yeah.
In different capacities.
Yeah.
And I had some, there were different points where I had a year or so off, and I moved around from different companies. I was a swing, and I think that gave me a lot of longevity. I was swing and a dance captain with the show, so that gave me a lot of, I had a lot of usability in me in those positions, and they had a lot of companies going. So that was just kind of lucky. I was supposed to work. Initially, my first contract was a 10-week medical leave replacement, and then it ended up being 12 years or something.
Wow.
13, I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of like Paris by Night. You think you get hired for one job, and then 10 years later, you're like, here I am again.
Yeah.
So that, and then touring, I really only have toured with theatrical productions, which I always loved musical theater, and that's kind of how I started dancing. So when I was younger, my dad was in the military, so we lived abroad, and this was before the days of the internet. So we had to rent videos, and that was what you had to watch because we didn't even have TV. So we would rent these, all of the classic musicals, and I would do them in the yard by myself. So then I just, I always did musicals all the way through high school, and so I think I've always had that affinity for it. Even though I would have loved to tour with an artist and have that experience, that would have been amazing, but that wasn't kind of the niche that I fell into. So I ended up working with, there was a choreographer named Wayne Salento, who's New York based, but he really loved LA dancers. He was a saucy dancer himself. And so he liked to have that mix of an LA kind of energy, but also that Broadway technique and storytelling and all of that. So he would always audition in both places. And so I was fortunate to be able to work with him. I think I did an industrial for him first in Las Vegas, back in the days of the big industrials. It was for Toyota or something. And then I did Aida with him, and then he ended up choreographing with it. So that was a fortunate. He's just wonderful to work with, and he's a dancer's dancer, you can, he gets in there. He's not a sit and watch. He's he's all for doing it.
It's so amazing how you all worked for Paris by Night or still working for Paris by Night, but yet you came from different places and you came from different experience. With Tracy, when she was talking to us, she was referred by Addie as well, but then she has the background of so you think you can dance and all that stuff, and JJ and Tycho and all that, but then you, on the other hand, you're more musical, theatrical, but then you met the right person. Someone who's in LA met the right person, and then all your life, your passion is doing musical theater, and then you met that person, and then you get the opportunity, and then you're still doing it for your whole, and then you made into a career. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's definitely that, divine synchronicity of the universe, I guess, where you just trust that you always meet the right person at the right time, kind of. It sort of all works out. And even other jobs that I ended up doing, I did some assistant work for different choreographers along the way, just randomly, and all of that stuff was also more storytelling type work, on sitcoms, with Brooke Shields or Tracy Ullman, on all of her different series. I worked on those which is all character based, skits.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is. I guess that is kind of like a through line that I hadn't quite actually realized until now.
And the skits are hard. The sketch shows and the comedy shows, they're actually very hard to choreograph because everything is last minute. So you have to choreograph it's to me it's like improv choreography.
Like SNL.
SNL, well, they have a script and everything like that. So with Wayne, he like the most recent thing I choreographed for his Let's Make a Deal episode about a year ago, and he said, "Hey, this is a concept and everything," and so it was like a award show concept for Let's Make a Deal. So I had this vision in my head where it was like, okay, people are dressed up and all this stuff, and this was like maybe a day or two before I was supposed to be in LA. So I was trying to get as much as the information as I could to be prepared for rehearsal. I did not, so I actually direct booked all my dancers. I called just one agency because I didn't want to deal with a lot of agents because it would just take more and more of my time. So I direct booked off a Clear Talent group, and I asked friends, what do you think about this guy? Have you worked with him before? You know, and then when I got on set, I had a click track and a bare. The music wasn't even built yet. I was just like, what am I choreographing to? So the MD, the musical director, sent me the music, and I couldn't even. It was so bare. I couldn't even decipher which was the verse and the chorus, and I was just like, oh my god, what's going on right now? So I got on set, and everything was just like, what am I doing? So,
but you made it work.
You have to make it work.
Yes.
You have to make it work. So and then you cross your fingers. It looks good on camera, right? It looks good in that frame.
I think that's something about that. Something about performing in theater and dancing is very magical. And it's always last minute. You don't know what it looks like until you see the whole thing on stage. And a lot of times, sometimes you guys have to rehearse separately, different parts, and then you block. When you block is when you put together. The reason I know is it's kind of like with Paris by Night. You have to use your imagination a lot because a lot of time you don't know the set. Or, Shonda just kind of tell you the blocking and you don't really know exactly what you're doing until you're on stage. And at the same time, most of the time when you guys are rehearsing with Shonda, the music is not fully mixed. So you don't know what it's like.
Track until we're on the stage. And you're like, what am I hearing right now? Just keep counting.
And it's so crazy how it's like the music is not even it's in Vietnamese. You guys don't even understand. And this is the one thing I want to ask you guys. How do you guys make it work? You count in your head, or do you pay attention to the music? Tracy Shabata was sometime if it's in English, I can tell by the song. You'll be like, okay, that when it's that word, we'll do that. But this is in Vietnamese. How do you guys do that?
Actually, Shonda gives us the intention because obviously we don't understand Vietnamese, and as dancers or artists, we're supposed to tell a story, right? So Shonda, before rehearsals are, Shonda or her assistants, they give us the intention and the purpose of the song and what the story's about. So that's how we operate. It would help even more if we knew what the lyrics, if we understood Vietnamese. Usually John,
our coordinator, he translates every single words into English for Shonda, and then she relates that message back to you guys. But you guys don't have you don't know word for word.
But we can't lyrically connect to a word. So I think sometimes it's just straight up memorizing. It's literally just the most intense memory game you've ever played in your life.
Yeah.
And then there's and you look for those musical cues to themes to grab onto to anchor you, or there will be a lyric that repeats where you don't really know what they're saying, but you're recognize the sound. So you're Just we're out of here. It's literally like whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to grab onto is like what it's gonna be. It's very much like improv, like, or you're just like, I don't know, make it happen. Sometimes it's straight up just math, and sometimes it's just like auditory cues, whether it's music or a voice or whatever.
No, but the thing, like, I've seen you guys rehearse or at blocking. You guys are amazing at counting. I mean, it's just like 1 through 8, but you know, just 8 counts. But you guys
but then sometimes somebody's got to be in charge. Be extra 4.
Extra 4.
Extra 4. Exactly. There's always somebody who's in charge of that for like every number.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then the choreography. Sometimes we repeat choreography, but it's construed in a different way. You know, towards the ending of the song, and I'm just like, oh my god! I know this routine is so simple, but like they change. It's a repeat, but it changes.
It's a repeat. Yeah. Only half
I'm just
repeat, and then you start it again, and it's 2 times around, and you're like, Right. But somebody is always in charge of. Someone will grab on and be like,
right.
Repeat from the beginning. You know, like exactly. Chorus. This is the chorus.
Yeah.
I'm sure you watch A Paris by Night where the editing guy did not do their job, and the camera's on me, and I'm messing up.
Just eyeballs. There's a lot of
messing up again.
No, nobody knows. Nobody. That's the beautiful thing is that you guys know that you made a boo boo, but then none of us know. The audience don't know because you guys just do it. You do it like flawlessly. Not just by your movement, but also your facial expression. That you just act like nothing happened.
Well, that's the trick. You have to give face. That's the trick. You try to give face, and nobody will notice your mistake.
You gotta give
right.
And I have another thing I want to say. It's you guys have your own like dance language. Like every time you do a move, you do something. You say certain words, like.
Oh my God.
Boom, cat, boom, boom, boom.
Tippy canoes. There's all kinds. And Shonda has
charade. Yeah, Shonda has a lot of onomatopoeias. Yeah.
Is that like a universal language for all dancers? Like no, you all speak that?
It's pretty specific. To
yeah.
Like okay. Boogada Tagada. That's a good
one. And then
Fellinis.
And then you know, Chris, like especially with Chris, you have a lot of lead role in Paris by Night because you're like the perfect boyfriend, you know, because you're like handsome and you kind of look like Vietnamese.
kind of. Or we're South Asian. Right?
Yeah, you from like you would go from like a normal handsome boy to like a businessman to like a king to like a prince to like, you know, you play so many to a queen. Oh yes, even a queen in Vegas, you know, when you did the whole full on blue eyeshadow makeup.
And then in Singapore too, I was a queen.
But those, you know, every time you're the lead like that, do you know like what's obviously Shonda told you what's your role and you play your role, and when you act, sometimes the reason I ask this is sometimes you guys act it out and you say something, but obviously you're saying in English, and the singer is singing to you in Vietnamese, but you're like, what?
No, but sometimes, you know, I'm a little rascal, and I mess around on stage or on camera and try to make them laugh, or I mean, Allison doing 8 shows a week on Broadway or on a Broadway tour, it kind of gets mundane, and so you start messing around with people on stage, and people really...
There's subplots develop.
Yeah, subplots, and people don't even know, but a lot of that happens in Paris by Night. Well, for me, on my part.
No, you definitely have a lot of fun in Paris by Night, Chris. You do. You have.
I do. I love doing Paris by Night. I love it.
And you have fun. If the fan has an opportunity to see you guys backstage, it's crazy. Especially if Chris Q is doing the show, he's crazy backstage.
I'm crazy with you. We had the best time. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we have a great time, and that's why I love Paris by Night, because the bonds are strong.
Yeah.
And we're always laughing. This job it's not easy. It's not for the faint. You know what I mean? So. But we also have to make it fun as well. Mm-hmm. So we can't just be like, oh my God, this thing is so stressed. We're stressed. We have to laugh. We have to always remember to have fun, and the reason why we're here, So,
yeah. I think we all had fun, and we all love the team. It's like a teamwork. So, and with dance job, I know that sometimes it could go, it could go for a very long time, but then sometimes it's like a temporary thing. So it's very flexible. But then when you have the time, when you're available, PPN asks you come back.
Oh yeah, always.
Yeah.
And to me, that's like, it's so special for just this, you work with like everybody in the world, but yet when this little Vietnamese music production asks you and you're like, I'm available, I'm going to do it. It's so crazy.
PBN is as little as we think it is, right?
Well, not now. Yeah. Well, it's had built. Yeah, it built the reputation. It became a huge brand.
Huge brand, and I'm so happy that there is Marie. To do that for the Vietnamese community. It's amazing. I mean, if you look at the bigger picture of things, it's literally amazing. And Marie is so loyal. Even when I'm working, working on other gigs, she still asks us to, do you want to do it? Constantly loyal. And if you're loyal back, that's why I love Marie. Mm-hmm. Loyalty is so hard to find in this business. Right. And that's why I keep on going back.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, the fans love you guys too. Like, they love you and they're happy to see you guys. So that's why Marie, if there's a chance, she wants you guys back, Mm-hmm. But like Allison was talking about this at the beginning. At the beginning, she didn't know. I think Paris by Night definitely like evolved throughout the years and through time. Because back then there was no, like, she didn't know to go to like agency and all that. So, but now there's agency and there's more exposure for dancer. Dancing now is considered a career. It's legit respectable career.
Yeah.
And you guys have the spotlight on you. So she's definitely like always looking for new faces or new dancer, but when you guys are not available. She always wants you guys back. But if you guys are not available, then Shonda has to go and audition like new dancers.
Yeah. Shonda and Marie, they even when we're not available, they have a good eye for hiring great talent and also great looking people, performers. Mm-hmm. And also even Shonda's also good at looking at potential, people who have great potential. And then when we get into rehearsal, Shonda pulls out that potential in them to perform on camera.
Right.
So they have a great eye. So, and working for so long with Paris by Night, I've met so many new dancers that are just talented up the wazoo.
Yeah.
Asian talented performers that are talented up the wazoo.
Right.
So we're also blessed to be graced by their presence, by this young talent that's representing Asians,
Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, I myself included in this, that I think we've learned a lot from Paris by Night that we can use those lessons and tips to go and do other things, out there in the world. Like a lot of the dance, when I was talking to the other dancers the other day, and they were like, it's like doing Paris by Night, even though it's like 10 numbers or per show, but it's like doing like 3 months of work because it's so intense and it's like so much that you have to memorize in 2 weeks.
It's like how many minutes of material that that one number is, like it could be like 6 or 8 minutes for a number, and you've got 8 hours to learn it. I mean, it's like it's an intense amount of information to grab onto, and then perform. to be on camera forever.
Yeah. No, and JJ was like, not only you have to remember the routine, but you have to handle the props and don't ever drop the props and the costume and then the
props. Oh my god, that's a whole other level. I mean,
Allison's fierce though. Allison's fierce. She never forgets choreography. Allison is amazing. No, he never forgets choreography.
PBN, this is why it's such a family environment and why we are bonded so hard, is because it is a team effort, like, from, like, cover to cover.
Yeah.
Like, 10 numbers in, like, a week where you get, like, essentially no rehearsal, you know? It's, like, literally, like, you kind of, like, see it once, essentially, run it a couple times, get on stage, it's all different. You've got, now you're wearing things and things are on you and you're holding things and you're like, what's happening? You know, the music's like a whole new track, like, what's going on? You know, and you literally, like, it's like you remember what you remember, and then, like, you look across the stage and go, like, help me! Someone else you know? It all, you know, it's like we just, like, you tune into each other so hard to get each other through it, you know? And you always, nobody gets left behind. No one is ever left behind.
And that's what we love about Paris by Night is that we're always we provide a support system for each other.
Yes.
Yeah, so which is great.
It's like an incredibly generous group of people that I have met through doing this job. You know,
yes, and you all became really, really good friends. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. And funny. You're the funniest people I know.
Yeah.
It's stressful. I think it's intense. It's stressful, but it's so rewarding. After a show or after we done a show, it's rewarding because we did something very magical.
We don't even know what the number really looks like until we see the finished product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that's what the finished product looks like? Oh, it looks amazing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The numbers that you're not in, you always crowd around the monitor to, like, see in performance, like, what the numbers are that you're not in and watch your other people perform those numbers. And it's like such a supportive environment, but it's also like, it's like, oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Like, it looks incredible.
I mean, it's definitely a teamwork, like a team effort and a supportive environment because none of us go into Paris by Night and say, I'm going to do it all. You can't do it all. It's like dancer is one element, choreography one element, singer is one element, and then costume and props. All of these elements has to work together. And then the finished product. Like, we can't do it all by ourselves. And I think that the reason it worked and it worked and we all kind of, like, you know, love each other and support each other because we know that we need each other in order to have that one finished product.
Right, exactly. And I would like to thank Marie and all the leaders Marie and Shonda for being great leaders for all of us, for making it a great product for the Vietnamese community. So amazing. I'm saying it because I'm Vietnamese, but I think other dancers who are not Vietnamese, so proud. Like, they can proudly say that they work for Paris by Night. Like, it became, like, a thing. Right. Like, I dance for Paris by Night, and I'm proud of it, you know? Well, what about you, Ty? You're
still
freaking amazing, too. I've seen you grow in your designs and your artistry throughout the year. It's just congratulations.
Thank you. No, Paris by Night is definitely a foundation. It is a foundation, and I'm so lucky. I mean, there are many other Vietnamese designers out there, but, you know, I got this opportunity, and I worked so hard to, you know, to prove myself and to prove the community that I can do something, and I'm here to stay.
Exactly, but it provided you a place to practice and your art.
Yes.
Your and also create, get to know yourself better as an artist. Mm-hmm. Is that true?
Yes. I definitely.
Yourself as an artist.
I've learned so much, and I've said this so many times. When Marie posts something, and I learned so much from her by working with her. And then I've learned so much working with Shonda and with you guys. Because designing, what I love is that my regular daily job is designing for regular people. But when I do Paris by Night, I get to design for the singers and I get to design for the dancers. Designing costume for the dancer is completely different than doing it for regular people, you know? And who to say that I have all this experience to do all this, you know? Why are you laughing, Chris? I know you're going to say something. Chris and...
Oh my God, I wasn't in that number, but you totally, like, the boys, it was like, I think it was a totally manly number. I wasn't in that number, I guess because I'm not that manly, you know? But the pants were so tight, you could see every single detail. And it's totally different designing for
yes, and I always, you know...
And everything has movable and everything.
Yeah. And every time we have a dress rehearsal, I keep on hearing, Thai, stop making it to your size. Stop making these costumes in your size. And the thing is, like, this is the thing too, like, people need to know that you guys are very healthy and you will always work out and your body fluctuate. Your body, the girls are mainly the same, but the guys, sometimes you get bulky, sometimes you slim down and you get more muscular. We have your measurement, but it's like the general measurement. It's never the accurate measurements.
Yeah.
And we want them to, we want them to show off the body, so it's always fitted. So, but when it comes to, we got to think quick as a costume designer. If it's too tight, don't wear it.
Right.
Yeah.
Just go topless.
Uh-oh.
Manly.
No, but I've learned, I think we have so many stories in the dress rehearsal and backstage is always like, just dance in it. If it's too tight, just dance it. Just rip it, and then I'll fix it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, you guys are amazing. You're amazing. Your team, Thai, and you and your team are literally amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it, even with the color palette on stage, like what the leads are wearing, what the dancers are wearing, even with, and how it blends in or contrasts with the backdrop. Do they even tell you what they're projecting on the backdrop or on the...
Yes, it's basically all for Marie. It's all for Marie.
It's all like storyboarded.
Yes, so so you guys have 2 weeks to learn all your dance number. I have 2 weeks to do all the costume, basically, because we can't really do. I'm the last person in the. So there's a path. When Marie pick our song, music arrangement, singer go record, then Shonda and Marie and we'll have a meeting. We'll come up with the concept after we heard the song, and then after that concept, we talk about costume. So I'm the last person. We talk about costume, and from that costume, Marie will design
But you have this much time because you're the last person.
Yeah.
Well, and then I feel like you still tweak things, right? I feel like you still tweak things. Like you'll bring stuff to rehearsal, to try and, just as just the working version to just work with in rehearsrsal, and you'll get a note that's like, this doesn't really work as well in this way, or whatever. You get constant notes tweaking.
We tweak until the day of the show.
Yeah. And then you're doing alterations, literally, as people are walking on stage sometimes. I feel like, I don't know how you keep track of it and then get it done. Like, I don't even know how it happens.
I think it's because
there's so many people in the show.
Yeah. There's so many people, and the thing is, we tweak it, because after the dress rehearsal, we do the lighting rehearsal. And the lighting rehearsal that's when, usually we run it 1, 2, 3 times. That's when Marie has the final say on everything. And we tweak it within those minutes, basically.
Yeah.
Remember, Allison, where we used to have pre-shoots?
Yes. Yes.
And now we don't have.
We don't have that. We have lighting rehearsal.
Yeah.
So back then there's
lighting rehearsals. We used to pre-shoot and then we could do the tweaks.
Yes.
Now we don't have pre-shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's just that.
This show has really evolved. The production has evolved. Marie's really been able to like, I don't know. There's just been such a huge transformation in just the way the production functions.
But then going back to that, I think we're all trying. We all have to make it work, because I think that's the nature and the magical thing in showbiz is you just have to make it work. You guys are dancers, and we talk about this. I talk about this with Taiko. You have that certain amount, that amount of time to make it work. Whether if you are in pain, you're injured, you still have to make it work. I have that amount of time. It doesn't matter what happened. It doesn't look good. You gotta fix it. It's like and
then there's that person who likes to complain, right? But you have to make it. There's no time to complain, to say nothing. You just make it work, and that's just all of us at PBN, because we work as a team and we don't complain. Sometimes we do, but we have to make it work. We just have to make it work, right? We just have to accept the nature of the business.
Yeah, but then that's the reason why we love working with like you guys, the OGs, because you've been there, you know how it's done. Don't complain. Sometimes we get new dancer and they don't know what it is, and it's a lot. It's a lot for a new dancer to take in, and they're like, "This, I can't do that. I can't work." And I was like, so I always ask Eugenia or one of the OG. I'm like, "Can you explain it to the new dancer, please? I don't have time."
Let them know what they've gotten themselves into.
Yeah.
They just need to go. Just go with it. You just have to get on the train and go for the ride. And just be like, okay.
Love that. Yeah.
Here we go.
Exactly.
I mean, and then I have a fan saying, "This is my childhood dream right here. Some of my favorite PBM legacy dancers." I mean,
legacy dancers.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, if you have something to say to the younger dancer now, if they want to do Paris by Night, what do you want to tell them?
Oh God, I think I just said it. You just have to go with it. It's not like any other job you will ever do, and you can't walk in with an expectation of this is how I need to, be treated, or you will be treated well, obviously, but you just have to surrender to what it is. And I think it is overwhelming at first. The first time you're like, what is going on? Because it is like a tsunami wave of information. It's so much choreography, on just a basic level. And then, it's in another language, and there are the schedule, and if you're doing it out of town or whatever, there's just, and so many personalities, which are wonderful. It's just a lot. You just have to go. You just have to surrender and just be like, all right, I'm in, and there's no time to stop and be like, I need this or that.
No.
It's we're all just doing it. We're in the trenches, and we're gonna get through it.
No, but Allison, you were saying there was so many personality, but then what I've seen, when we're in the show together, we all get along so well.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's like we are there for one common goal, is to get the show done. So there doesn't, put your personality or put your ego or pride somewhere else.
I don't think personalities in a way that people are difficult, or that there are friction and egos or anything like that. I just mean that there are. It's a fast-paced, high volume, big personality production.
Yes.
Has to be great. It's even in the makeup room and in the hair room, it's there's personalities in there, and they're like, hey honey, it's no, there are no shrinking violets, and you just have to jump in. Just dive in and swim.
Yes. Yeah.
Chris,
what was the exact question again?
you have something to say to the younger dancers to do Paris by Night?
Oh, just live in the moment. Just as Allison was saying, it's very fast paced. Live in the moment. Have fun. Don't complain. Just go with the flow. Live in the moment and do your best. And if anybody gives you advice, in the cast, just take it. Have fun, because honestly, it is fun.
I think when it's your first PPN, just be like a sponge and just absorb as much as you can.
Just absorb it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to Paris, we went to Toronto, we went to Houston. We've been around the world with with Marie and Paris by Night, and we've experienced so much laughter, so much going out, so much on stage where like we've arrived in Paris and I was literally sleeping on set before the French director was like, 5, 4, 3, action, and I have to do this. I'm I was so jet lagged and I was sleeping on set. And, when I heard him count down, I was just like, "Oh my god, I'm doing this." So, yeah, just don't. And also, just work hard in rehearsals. Honestly, Paris by Night is one of the. I appreciate Shonda, and I hope they know this. I appreciate Shonda and Marie so much. They've given me experiences for a lifetime.
Yes, definitely.
And you have 2 Thai.
I definitely. What is your most favorite performance?
Oh, jeez.
That you could remember.
I feel like way back. I have no idea what this number. I don't know. It might have been a Wing Hung situation, but they were like, "You're gonna have, it's like, I don't know if I was supposed to be in Paris or like, I don't know, very like some cheap someone," and Marie was like, "And you're gonna have a little teacup poodle and a bag," and I was like, "Well, this sounds great."
Oh, it's like a shopping the number.
It was like it was. It was like shopping bags. Were you there? Like,
no, that was not my time. I was doing college.
But I mean, it was like heels and I like hair. Put all this hair, and I had the bags, and then the teacup poodle came, and the teacup poodle was like I was like, okay. Just like trembling the arm. I don't know. It stands out. I don't know if it was like my favorite. I have no idea what happened. I kind of blacked out after that, but it was a lot. I felt very glamorous, and then also like, I don't know. It was just, I was like, this dog it was like a sheep. I was like, oh my god, this is like the biggest. Like, oh my god. I don't know.
I remember that number. It was great. It was very theatrical.
Very theatrical.
And I also I think
fall on my face. That was my.
There was another number that I really liked was the drum number with you and Tracy. And Bao Han. Yes. Just the two of you and Bao Han.
It was like in San Jose.
Yeah, it was in San Jose, and it was just the two of you with the drumstick and just go at it.
Yes.
San Jose.
Is that where the person fell from the balcony?
Yes. And Chris, this is the one that you were Min Twit's husband, that you had a mistress when she was in Japanese.
Oh, when I had long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your favorite performance?
The Crazy Rich Asians one.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because I was just like free. I was like,
It's you. The number is so you, and I think that's beautiful because that's when you really know it's you and you having fun, and that's how you living your life now. Is really just be you and having fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like I was putting up a front. I mean, I was just like silly. I mean, and Shonda allowed me to be silly. I mean, she would tell me, it's like, "Chris, you're over too silly, you're over too queeny," but yeah, I mean, it was, I really liked that number. It was fun.
Chris,
it's not like I had to be clean and, choreography, because Shonda, she likes her choreography clean and grounded and don't bounce up and down, so I was bouncing up and down.
But Chris, you have huge amounts of fans, female and male and gays. I don't know. Should we? I don't know. Maybe
I didn't even know that. I don't. I'm so oblivious to all that.
Yes, no, you do, and a lot of them. But I'm not sure if should we tell them your status. Do we want to?
Oh, I'm married. I'm married to a French to a French chef. I'm not ashamed at all.
Okay.
His name is Yannick.
A lot of them might be disappointed because now that you are taken and married. That's why I have to ask you if you want to share that, because you may have disappointed them.
You know what? I'm living my truth. This is my truth. I'm married to Yannick, and Yannick, he's a great guy. He is just smart, and also he's creative as well.
Yes.
And we laugh all the time. Sometimes it may be crazy, and we're like, fighting or whatever. But that's the highs and lows of a relationship that I love, and we're very honest with each other. So we're very real with each other. So we're living on a plane that's on truth.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
So, and that's what I always wanted. Mm-hmm. My ex-boyfriend before me, he wasn't very truthful. So with Yannick, he cannot lie at all. Mm-hmm. So that's what I love about
But I don't think anybody can get mad at you. You're such a cuckoo that it's just like it's so fun.
People can get mad at me. My husband gets mad at me all the time, every single day. He yells at me. My friends get mad at me. I make mistakes too. I'm only human.
Yes, we all make mistakes.
The only thing I want to do is try to be the best that I could and be honest and genuine and learn from my mistakes, and also learn from my perceptions if I have any ignorant perceptions on life. I just want to get the bigger picture of things.
Yes. I mean, and definitely during this time, this pandemic really put us in a different, perspective in life, and really how we're going to live the life after we get back to normal life, if we ever get back to normal life after this. Do you have something, if you have anything that you want to share to the audience about that during this pandemic? Like, how are you at home sheltering in place, and any advice, any tip? Allison?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
How am I sheltering in place? I'm sheltering in place. I'm just trying to stay home and listen to the people that tell me to stay home. And I mean, it's not easy. It's definitely weird, and I think I definitely have, like, as you were saying, like, is it really ever gonna are we gonna go back to normal? Is that even a thing, or is life going to be different in some way after this? Which I'm sure it will be to some degree. But yeah, it's really intense to be locked down like this. I think for me, what I've been trying to do is still find ways to kind of be of service and feel connected. And so I'm doing a little bit of volunteer work when I can, not anything that's super contacty. Mm-hmm. I mean, all best practices and minimal contact and 6 feet and all of that, masks and gloves and glasses and stuff. But yeah, I think just trying to do something, even if it's reaching out through a screen or whatever, to just feel like you're still productive mm-hmm. and contributing to people's lives. Mm-hmm. It's important.
Yeah.
Chris?
I think one of she's a Paris by Night dancer. She put it perfectly. Her name is Alexi.
Yes. Love Alexi.
Just be. You don't have to write a new show. You don't have to learn how to play the piano. You don't have to, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this, or be busy. Why don't you just sit down and just be? Mm-hmm. And breathe. Mm-hmm. Just breathe. Just take a breath. I mean, I know there's only so much of it, breathing you can do and getting into yourself. But you know what? You may find something new about yourself, like, okay, maybe I wasn't for this, or maybe I wasn't for that. Mm-hmm. Or, maybe I wasn't, maybe my life before this COVID-19 wasn't for me. I mean, there's so many different scenarios, mm-hmm. but just be, and just get back to yourself, and just be honest with yourself and everybody else.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I myself, during this time, I just think every day I'm just thinking how I keep, how I can keep myself busy, and constantly I'm thinking about sharing as much as, what I know in my profession, like mm-hmm. what I know I can share, and then just be connecting like how I reach out and I create this tea talk thing so I can connect to you guys. I connected to the people. I look forward to the 6 p.m. tea talk so I can see people and talk to people.
Right. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
You know.
Socialize, yeah.
And then be creative, trying to as much as I can just to keep my mind stimulating, because it's hard for a creative person to be locked down in one place for a long time. It's hard.
Yeah, it is hard because we're kind of like ADD and we need to multitask. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we're used to being like stimulated by so much that sparks creativity, and to be kind of like sheltered from that and really just like internal. I think it's interesting though, and I think that you're totally right, Chris. Like, it's also really important to kind of let yourself be, and like, you know, this change of pace is like, it's a huge sort of whiplashy, like way other end of the spectrum from what most of us have been doing. But I think maybe that's necessary to like find like a new center that's like feels more authentic and rooted and mindful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mindful.
Not to get too like woo, but you know, I think it's good.
I have like 4 questions that I want to ask you guys. What would you do if you have only one day to live?
What? I mean, I don't know. Chris, you want to go first?
I want to eat. I want to eat.
That's what I was going to say.
I want to eat spam, eggs, and rice. I want to eat Vienna sausage. I was raised on those foods. Right. I want to eat a lot of Hawaiian food. I want to eat spaghetti bolognese.
Yes, it's a bolognese and a big full red wine. Like a
yes. I want to drink.
That's gonna be my last. That's if I was going to the chair, that'd be my last meal for sure.
Exactly. I want to dance with close friends that are so loving and that you connect with. I want to be around my family, friends and family. And eat. Dance.
Eat. Why are we always celebrate with food? Our stance is we're always so obsessed with food. We always go to the food.
Yes, you guys eat.
We love eating.
You guys love to eat.
Basically, celebrate life.
Yes.
If that's my last day, I'm gonna celebrate life.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And if you can only bring one item.
Oh wait, Allison didn't answer that question, right?
I feel like it's the same. Immediately what popped into my head was a big bowl of pasta.
Right.
On
the beach.
On the beach. On the beach, sure.
In Hawaii.
Yes, Maui.
She on the beach in Hawaii.
On the beach on
Waimea Bay, where we can boogie board and body surf the waves. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds nice.
Sounds great.
Sounds amazing.
The date.
And if you can only bring one item to when you are in a deserted island, you can only bring one item. What would you bring?
My dog.
Your dog?
Yes. Does that count?
Yeah, does that count?
Yeah, that's your companion, but then you will have to find ways to like take care of the dog too, and yourself.
I think that we would figure it out. She's very sporty and resourceful.
Okay, Chris, what would you bring?
Can I bring my husband?
No, you cannot bring a person.
Why? I mean, it's like we're on a deserted island. It feels like we're on a deserted island anyway.
No, by yourself.
Oh, jeez.
I think that says a lot in quarantine after this long that you still would bring your husband.
It's beautiful.
Because he can cook.
No, you only want to bring him because you are relying on him.
Did you see that smoky Negroni he made you?
Yeah, I saw that smoke earlier.
Well, because he's creative, but he's also creative, and you know, there's companionship. I mean, why wouldn't you want to bring another person? Yeah, humans need companionship. You know, we need to socialize. But if I would bring one item, I would bring like seeds. I would bring like plant seeds that would grow and flourish into something I could eat.
He's all about eating.
Yes, we are food obsessed.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you have an opportunity to have dinner with your ultimate idol, role model, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh God. I don't know. There's so many.
Audrey Hepburn for you?
I love Audrey Hepburn. I would definitely have dinner with her. I would love to have dinner with Barack and Michelle. I would love to have dinner with, I don't know, someone French.
With Chris Husband.
Yes, Yannick. I also want to bring Yannick to the island if I can.
Yeah.
I hear he cooks.
Chris, who would be yours?
Oprah.
Oprah?
Yes, Oprah.
Food for everyone! Spam for everyone!
I love Oprah.
Yes, I would love to meet her too.
You know who I love as well? I love Susie. I love Susie Orman for some reason.
Approved.
I'm scared of her. I don't know. I want to be around her.
Or Iyanla Vanzant. Iyanla Vanzant.
Oh yeah, she'd fix your life.
Yeah,
she'll fix her life. Yeah, yeah. I feel like we'd have great conversations. We'll laugh and everything. You know, and, you know, they have wine too or drink. So.
What animal would you be if you were an animal?
Oh. Gosh, I don't know. I feel like I have it, like, I don't know, tiger obsession is, like, on my brain, but I don't know if that's just because I just watched Tiger King.
Because you just watched Tiger King. Oh my god, I cannot.
All I wanted was
people just keep on talking about Tiger King!
I just wanted all those tigers to eat those people. Isn't that terrible? I was like, eat them. Free yourselves.
Chris?
Is a firefly an animal?
A firefly?
I want to be a firefly.
Ooh.
Like a little light flying, you know.
Yeah, magical.
Yeah, I want to be a firefly.
Your butt would light up.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be that. His butt is his butt is on fire all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to talk to Yannick about that.
I love talking to you guys.
Firefly because they're so magical, and everybody, whenever anyone sees one, they're always like, "Oh, look!"
Yeah.
Right? It brings you spark joy.
You know, with the amount of food that he's eating, I'm sure it's always on fire.
I'm well fed all the time. Yeah. Yeah, it was on fire. With all that dairy and cheese.
Cheese, delicious.
Yeah. That cheese with wine when it's paired. Oh my god.
Yes.
The conversation is
the
conversation is going like in the direction that I don't know what direction we're going for, but
I can tell it's dinner time. I'm like, what am I gonna have for dinner? What am I gonna eat now?
But I love talking to you guys. I remember Chris Q, you and I, we had our name. We are the Fook You and Fook Me sister.
All the time. We have so many great times.
Yes.
So many stories, don't we?
Yes, I can just do the whole series of like PPN Dancer. There's so many stories. The next couple I'm chatting with are Addie and Stella.
Oh
yes.
My.
Everyone.
Yes.
Old school.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's like my fave pairing ever.
Yeah.
Wine and cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, so yummy.
I mean, Chris, we connect backstage, and then, you know, we connect on many different levels because we're sisters. And then Allison and I, we are like sister for real. Like, we literally, we've been through a lot. Like, and it's starting on the day that I work on your wedding dress. And literally, that's like, you know.
Oh, I had no idea. Wow, he worked on your wedding dress.
Yes.
He did the most perfect alterations ever.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
And it was just like, and then from there, we just click and we bonded, and we've been to so many things. We share so many deep conversations about life, you know?
Yes.
And
a lot of deep thoughts.
Yeah, and I love both of you so much. And
I love you too. I love you too, Ty. And I love you too, Allison.
And this is the one thing.
Sunshine.
Yeah, and this is the one thing is like I'm not even the dancer, but I get to work with you guys on Paris by Night, and I get to meet with you guys, and it's such an honor that I get to meet and work with you guys. And thank you so much for sharing all the things that, you know, that we've shared in this lifetime together.
Oh my God.
And that's what makes life worth living. All these memories.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why we always come back.
Yes.
Yes.
We don't know when, but we'll come back.
Yeah. Even when I'm on walker chain. You know? Like,
We're all gonna look like this. You're only gonna see me from here up.
Right?
But yeah, thank you so much, you guys, and please stay safe and stay healthy. And one last thing, what do you want to say to Paris by Night fans? One last thing.
Aloha, mahalo. Thank you. No, seriously, thank you for being so loyal and supporting Paris by Night, the production company, Marie, and the dancers. Thank you for supporting us, and also you're the reason why we're working. So thank you. Thank you very much for the bottom of my heart.
Oh.
Yeah, it really is a family, and all the fans are definitely it's the huge family, including all of the fans and Marie and Shonda and the dancers and all the production, and you guys. It just extends and ripples out. So, I include them in that love bubble. Totally.
Okay, we're gonna all go cry now. Thank you. I love you guys.
Thank you so much, Ty.
Okay.
So good to talk to you.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Aloha. Bye bye.